It's tax season, which means everyone is getting their documents together, their W-2s, their 1099s, they're going to their tax preparer. And it turns out that a number of Trump supporters are realizing that those Trump tax cuts that the GOP willy-nilly passed actually did not save them much in taxes. Many people are owing more to the IRS than in previous years. And their tweets about it are, I feel terrible for them, thoughts and prayers. But I do enjoy reading them. So let me give you the details.
I got thoughts, but I ain't got no prayers.
Now, Americans are winding up having to pay more because the legislation actually eliminated multiple deductions used by middle-class families to lower their annual tax payments. Now look, a lot of this is really dependent on where you live. So if you live in a state that has, let's say, state taxes, you can't deduct them the same way that you did previously. And when it comes to, let's say, your mortgage interest deduction or your property tax deduction, it's capped at a certain amount. So I believe it's $10,000 it's capped at. Long story short, there are certain deductions that don't exist anymore. There's another one for people who have, like, let's say, representatives like an agent or a manager. If you get a freelance job through an agent or manager, that person usually takes a cut, about 10% or something like that. You're not able to deduct that anymore. So you will have to pay taxes on the amount of money that you paid your agent or manager. So you guys get who is, this is very punitive for certain people, right? So if you live in a blue state that has high taxes, you get the point. Now,
can I just say, look, I don't want you guys to be, it's not everybody's taxes didn't go up, right? Some people's taxes went down dramatically and some people's taxes went up and some were relatively unaffected. So the people who had their taxes go down, do you know who they were? The top 1% and multinational corporations. So as my favorite fact, the Trump tax cuts for the top 1% led to a tax cut of $61,000 per year. On average, okay, they got an extra $61,000 because that's what the top 1% needed, okay. So now, meanwhile, a lot of Trump supporters, whether they're in blue states who got taxed harder, or in other states, because some of these middle class exemptions were taken away because they had to give more to the rich. Come to find out, oh my God, this actually affected me and it increased my tax. But what did you think we were telling you? We told you that in the beginning. We told you that it was a terrible idea, that it was gonna raise a lot of your taxes and it was gonna give it all to, almost all of it to the rich, and you didn't believe us. Well, now, this is the chickens coming home to roost.
Yes, and I wanna also just quickly mention that when the GOP was trying to sell the tax legislation, they made the argument that they're gonna close the loopholes. They're gonna close the loopholes, right? They're gonna lower the corporate tax from 35% to 21%. By the way, the effective tax is much lower than that. But they're gonna close the loophole, so all these corporations are actually gonna end up spending more on taxes. No, they didn't cut any or close any of those loopholes. The only deductions they went after were the deductions that the middle class gets to use when they file taxes.
Yeah, and to be fair, look, it doesn't affect the incomes at the lower brackets as much, right? And the rich are ecstatic because they got huge tax breaks. It mainly hits the middle class.
Yes.
And in fact, there was a Republican congressman that was on air on cable news after the tax package passed, and they said, you know, you're going to close the loopholes. I think it was Stephanie Rule on MSNBC that asked, and said, so name one loophole you closed for corporations. He's like, couldn't name one. Couldn't name one because corporations made out like bandits. So now let's go to the people, Trump supporters, crying that it turns out their taxes went up.
Okay, so we have Dennis Jordan. These are all people on Twitter. I'm a Republican voter. I just did our taxes. The GOP tax bill cost my family thousands of dollars this year on our return due to changes, thereby hitting us with the largest tax increase of our lives. We are middle-class homeowners, and you raised our taxes. Infuriating.
But hey, you were owning the libs, so I guess that was fun.
Look, I think that, look, I love this story and I want to go after them hard, but I don't think all of them fall under the category of like, Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna destroy you, and I'm a destroyer. Like, they're not all like that. So I don't know, this guy seems like he's fine, but he voted for the wrong person.
I hear you, and But it's hard for me to have sympathy for people because we told you. And you were like, oh yeah, no way, man. No way, I believe in alternative facts. Well, enjoy your alternative taxes.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. One other person writes, I have to pay $2,000 more in taxes this year. What happened? I voted for you, she was tweeting to Trump, and thought you were fixing this, not making it worse. I thought I would get money back this year. Well, you were wrong. NYC girl also tweeted, voted for you, family of 2 hardworking New York cops, did taxes for years, we should pay more and get a refund at the end of the year to help pay debt. First time in 30 years we had to pay more in federal taxes, I'm disgusted. So yeah, I wanna just quickly touch on that. So some people do rely on that tax refund to pay down debt or pay for, let's say, a family vacation or something like that. A lot of people are in for a very rude awakening, and I knew this was coming.
But remember, a lot of people do taxes later. So this is just the first wave because the government reopened. These are the people like Anna who are vigilant and do it right away. People like me who wait till the very last second. So this is gonna come in waves, are gonna get hit later, right? So, I mean, it's tweet after tweet and you can say, hey, listen, it's just guys on Twitter and you don't know, okay. But the tax policy was already, in the beginning it was polling at around 26%, I believe. I think at one point it slipped down to 17%. These are monstrously low numbers. I mean, they're so bad that Republicans stopped like even talking about taxes. They had all these ads like, we cut your taxes.
Yes.
And this is before people got like actually saw themselves getting screwed. Even then they weren't buying it, most folks, right? And then, but these are the hardcore Republicans, Trump voters who were like, no, well you guys are libs and we don't trust you and enemy of the people with the fake news. Oh no, okay, and that's what just happened. Sorry, hashtag really not that sorry. It's your fault in the first place. We told you not to vote for him. We told you that tax policy was designed for rich people. We were right, you were wrong. Now you're out a couple $1,000. So yeah, a bunch of them saying I won't vote for you in 2020. Okay, great, but damage is done and it's done to you. But hey, look, to be fair, don't worry. The job creators got an extra $61,000 a year. So maybe one day it'll trickle down on you. So you should enjoy that.
Let's read some more of the tweets though.
Now we're having fun. There you go, Anna.
All right, Angie tweets, worst tax return I had in a decade. I admit I voted for Donald Trump, but he has officially lost my vote for 2020. One other person whose name I can't pronounce says, wait till you file your taxes. Middle class just lost half their return. Lowest refund I have ever had, and I'm 50 years old. No wall, and now this tax reform sucks too. Starting to doubt Trump. I voted for him and trusted him too.
Okay, so first of all, on the wall, what did we just tell you? Because we've been covering the wall this whole time. We told you that he did not prioritize the wall. He waited 2 years to try to get money for the wall. What did he prioritize? Tax cuts for the rich. And by the way, also tax increases for you. Oops, told you he was lying to you the whole time. And then finally, that gets me to my overall point. The reason we did the loser Donald segments before the election was to tell you the guy's a grifter. He's a scam artist.
I love the word grifter.
Yeah, he's been a con man his entire life. And we tried to warn you. And now, and what do we tell you? I remember covering Trump University and how he scammed people out of $5,000, $10,000. First of all, no billionaire is scamming anybody out of $5,000. If they scam people, they're gonna scam for a lot more, okay? And so he's trying to get $5,000, $10,000 a year, cardboard cutouts of Donald Trump to like pay $35,000 to take a picture. Wait a minute, that's not Trump. I mean, he is a low-level con artist, right? And so, but everyone who gave the Trump Foundation, who went to Trump University, who participated, who lent him money. Remember, he went bankrupt 6 times. Every person who ever trusted Donald Trump went on to regret it. Just go ask Michael Cohen, and the list goes on and on, right? But you thought you were special, that you were the one person he actually cared about. That's what a con man does. They trick you into thinking, no. All the other people, no. But I'm on your side.
No, we have.
That's the whole point of the con.
Yep.
And so you got conned, and now you just realized, oops, I got conned out of my money and it went to his donors and his buddies and it went to Donald Trump. Yeah, that's what happened. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.